welcome back, and it's time for the second segment. And actually today we will be talking about the modern Tahtib. Actually, Tahtib, which is stick fighting, is a traditional Egyptian sport and martial art as well, which extends back to the ancient Egyptian times. The oldest scenes of it was found on the causeway of the pyramid complex of King Sahura of the 5th dynasty around almost 2200 BC. There were other scenes also in the area of the Middle Kingdom tombs of Elminia, as well as the Bani Hassan tombs, as well as, of course, in many areas, including up to the New Kingdom in Saqqara area. And actually that tradition used to be in ancient times part of the military activities and military training for the soldiers in ancient Egypt, and it continued in modern time, but it became more entertainment, especially in Upper Egypt, where we find the stick fights became a ceremonial festivity and even entertaining one. But recently one of the leaders of the martial arts, and he is Mr. Poulad, actually Mr. Ahmed Poulad, and actually he started the modern traditional or martial arts Tahtib, modern Tahtib, and actually he introduced to it as well and represented Egypt in France recently, isn't it true, sir?
Yes.
And good morning.
Yes, good morning. Well, thank you very much for this very nice introduction. Yeah, it was presented at the largest international martial art festival in Paris. Yes.
Yes. Would you tell us more about it? Malish, sorry, Dina.
No, it's okay. Too much information. I'm listening to information. It's very nice. First of all, we've learned that the pharaohs have depicted too many pictures on the temples and on the walls. Refers that they were using the defense, stick fencing and tahtib. So how did he know that this was for playing or for military? How did he get this information?
This information is described, in fact, in the Abu Sir engravings. So the Egyptian battle staff is together with the archery, and the wrestling. So these three disciplines were the warrior disciplines in the Egyptian army 5,000 years ago. So if you look at these Abu Sir engravings, you will find on the bottom part the ship. This was the transportation of the Egyptian army at this period. And then you have the line for the wrestling, which is the close combat, close fighting.
Yes.
And then you have the Egyptian battle staff, which is a larger distance. And then you have the archery, which is a long distance. At that time, you had no missiles, no airplanes, it was just the archery. So these were the three disciplines. So this was discovered by Tariq al-Awadi in 2009, and no, before 2009, he did his thesis on 2009 and published in Prague, in Czech Republic.
He discovered the Tahtib picture?
No, he depicted the Tahtib engravings and also the archery and the wrestling.
That's in terms of sports, because actually these scenes have been excavated and written about by Egyptologists before. So that's in terms of martial arts as a sport itself, because there are like Selim Hassan and others, and there are books about it dating to even the 18th and 19th centuries.
No, the Abu Sir engravings were discovered very recently. It was like a miracle, because they were the only engravings with hieroglyphic inscriptions, very clear. In the hieroglyphic inscriptions, the instructor is giving instruction to the trainer.
But these same engravings, they are present in 3 tombs at Bani Hassan and other tombs as well.
With no hieroglyphics.
No, with the hieroglyphs and even the spectators' comments even.
Not at all. In Bani Hassan, you visited so many times, you have no inscription at all telling what the instructor is telling. It's only drawings.
Well, anyway, you're our guest, so I'm not going to contradict with you on it. I'd like you to tell us more about the modern Tahtib.
Yes. Modern Tahtib is in the continuity of the traditional Tahtib, most in the continuity of the roots 5,000 years ago, in terms of physical discipline, martial art discipline, and sportive discipline. And so it is in this continuity, it is loyal to the values that has been developed all along the Egyptian history during 5,000 years, transforming from martial art to a village practice in the evening with four complements to adapt it to the modern society, to make it easily transported, from the rural societies to the urban societies, to the sporting clubs. The four cultural changes. The first is the teaching way. The traditional teaching way can't work in our cities here in Cairo, Alexandria, Port Said, etc. There's no way. So you have to adapt it. This is what I did when I published this book in the Modern Tahtib. You have here the full curriculum on how to teach it to the young people in the sporting clubs and in the schools. Okay. In this curriculum, you have 8 forms, 8 series, like the series you have in the Malaysian, the Korean, the Japanese, the Chinese arts, which allows young people to learn these techniques and working on these series. The second cultural change is about the dress, the suits. Now we're using the sport suits and no more the galabeya. The galabeya is very nice on the stage for the theater, for a demonstration, okay? But when you have the galabeya on the stage for demonstration, you as a public, you are watching, looking, applauding, enjoying, but not practicing. So we aim here, by changing the suit, is to invite the Egyptian people and all people around the world to practice, not only to show and to appreciate a demonstration, but to practice.
But sir, if we talk about Tahtib, the first thing that comes to maybe most of the Egyptians' minds, as we see in the old movies, it's a show of strength between two people playing this game, and especially in these movies, the one who wins the game, he's going to be the fetowa, or the one who is responsible to bring people's right with force. So does it have another message rather than force?
Behind these scenes, you have your deeper values of respect. Okay? Deeper values of respect. It's not only force. And by the way, this brings me to the third change, cultural change. Because to have a strong strike with a stick, you need a speed. And the speed, you can only bring it with the mental and physical flexibility. So when I question you, I'm saying who from the man and the woman have a better mental and physical flexibility, what would be your answer? Would it be the man or the woman? Tell me.
Of course the man.
No, the woman.
The mental and physical flexibility.
No, women.
So you could discuss.
Women are more flexible.
Okay. So here you see how the education is influencing you. Okay.
Yeah.
So because as I have a PhD in physics, I studied that. So I found out that, come on, flexibility brings speed. So normally, rationally, women should be stronger, and because bringing the speed with the body through the stick, and the man would use his muscle, but the muscle of arm is weaker than the mobilization of full body.
Dr. Adil, would you explain to us that video, please?
So this is a series demonstrated at the International Festival in Paris called Nakhla. Nakhla is the first series that I designed for the beginners. And the Nakhla contains 8 secrets. So this series that I designed contains the Upper Egypt secrets that I have detected with my martial art glasses. Looking behind the galabeya, I found out what are the secrets. So guess what are the secrets of the Tahtib? What are the secrets? The secrets in Tahtib is not in the hands. It is in the position of the body versus the other. It is in how you're moving the legs to protect yourself, to create distance, to counter, to surround the thing. So it's really displacement and the movement. The body movement is the fundamental of Tahtib. So about women, which this is the opening we did, which is the third changes, the cultural change with the Modern Tahtib, is to open the door for the woman. So I am the first man here in Egypt having opened the door for women. It was in 2007 with a girl called Madi. It was in Beni Hassan during an international course. And then we have more and more women interested and willing to practice and willing to prove that mental and physical flexibility is stronger than the muscles. And by the way, in France we have Melanie, which is a very impressive fighter. Just to finish with your question about Modern Tahtib, the number 4 change, cultural change, is to bring back the fighting, which is 3-4 attackers on one defender, as it was 5,000 years ago. Because come on back, if you get on the battlefield, you have enemies against you. Would you ask them to line up so you arrest them one by one? Or would you be surrounded by all of them and obliged to address all together? Today, this is very useful for people to develop a 360 degrees vision, not only for the practice of tahtib, but also for their life.
Yeah. Now, actually, when I looked at your website, I found that you have many terms in terms of tahtib, like the engaging has a term, the gathering, like you called it, the universe. Then there is something that you call the Egyptian haka. Yeah, would you tell us more about these terms, please?
The Egyptian haka is just to, this was the presentation done at the British Museum. So people, they know what the haka is. I don't believe the Egyptian here knows it's the haka. No. Haka is used by the New Zealand rugby team to empower before playing rugby. Okay, very impressive songs, very impressive gestures. Huh? So in each culture you will find an equivalent to this haka, to empower before playing something, to overcome fears and to enter peacefully in a committed celebration or in a committed game. The equivalent to the haka in Egypt is the khatawat al-takzir, which are the steps that we use as a preliminary to the jousting, not only to harmonize the audience present and participating to the celebration, but also to allow the jousters to overcome their fears and to be fully present, which reduce the risk of accident to almost zero. Okay, presence is the base of any joust, any fighting, any celebration, as a base of respect.
Sir, you said that tahtib was discovered in 2009. It was very recent discovery. So how it was discovered?
No, I said the engravings of Abu Sir were discovered.
The engravings, yes.
Of Abu Sir,
yeah, of course.
But the ones in Beni Hassan, Luxor, etc., they were known for a long time. Newberry was the man who described very clearly in the 19th centuries the Beni Hassan things.
I'm talking about the recent one.
So this was a 200-meter track conducted to the pyramids of Sahuri, which is today kind of pile of stones and it's between Gizeh's pyramids and Saqqara, just in the middle. And you have Tariq Al-Abdi, who is the chief inspector of the site, studying some of the pieces of stones still available there. Most of the stone disappeared, used by the people for ovens and furnaces. All disappeared. So only this piece was discovered as a miracle. Because these pieces, if you look at the instructions, contains not only martial art principles, but when you go and understand what is behind the martial art principles, you find the behavior principles. Most of them about respect, in fact. Respecting your values is the first one. Respecting yourself. This is the second view of Abu Sir, when the guy is asking the trainee to align to protect his head. This means, hey, respect yourself. The third one, when the guy say, come on, I am waiting for you, is, hey, respect the other and go and commit, engage with the other. And the number 4 at the extreme right, when the instructor is asking the trainee to touch him, meaning, hey, consider me, which means, consider me means respecting the other exists. So this is how martial or warrior principles were, you could transform them into behavior and self-development principles, which are useful for today.
Now, another term that I read that I'd like you to tell me more about is, you mentioned engaging, and then it was mentioned and musolfa, I can't pronounce it properly. Would you tell us more about it and correct my pronunciation?
Musolfa is give and take. So you give a strike.
And it says that it has 3 basic movements or attacks. Would you tell us more about that?
So these are very simple series that are used to teach the basic techniques to the beginners, showing defense technique from the back and from the front here. This is the front. And showing the attacks, rather vertical attacks or with small angle attacks, because the game now is aiming at touching the head just lightly on the front, or here in the temples, and on the back. These are the 5 points, the winning points. If you just lightly touch the head, you win. So the khalfiyya, which is the backward defense, or the amamiyya, which is the frontal defense, are part of the musarafa with three techniques. And the sadda, which is the blocking technique, is also taught in this musarafa.
But why tahtib is not famous nowadays between the younger generation as it used before?
You know, if you come with me in the street and take sticks and have a sports shoot, you will be amazed, surprised by how the young Egyptian people are willing to practice. They say, hey, Ustaz, فين المقر? Where is the center? We want to practice. So the readiness in the Egyptian population, I'm talking about young people, is very, very high. Is very impressive.
It runs in their blood.
The only blocking level is the guys like me, 60 years old. I'm 65, who didn't operate their change, because I changed my view on this thing. It has a very strong value, and the young people recognize it. Some of our, let's say, peers, some of them don't see the value of that. They're looking things abroad. Anything in Egypt has no value, so I'm looking abroad. Okay. They even say, you know, your story of Tahtib will be successful abroad, but they don't look at the demand in the country. They don't hear at the demand expressed by the young Egyptian here, which is maybe they should be abroad. These guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Adel, I'd like to ask you about the music itself, because usually it's accompanied by music like what we've seen in the video.
Yes.
Now, so do you teach them the movement separately, or do you teach them the movement in correspondence with the music and the rhythm of the music? So would each movement differ if the rhythm and the beat of the music was different?
The beat of the music, the beat of the heart is the fundamental. The beat of the music is the echo of the beat of the heart. So each of us has the beat of the heart as a rhythm, So the music is not coming here as a superficial thing. It's coming to support your breathing. Okay. Usually when we start, before using the music, I ask people to breathe. So to count, so they can breathe. When you have your body, you know, tahtib is not only a movement of hand, it's a movement of the body and breathing. And to support breathing, you have music. Music is supporting you to engage deeper. Music also is very useful to harmonize a celebration. So it's a tool. It's a tool, and it fosters the engagement. It pushes, you know, the engagement of people at a higher level. In fact, some ma'alimin in Upper Egypt don't like at all to use music. Say, no, this is martial art, we shouldn't have music. Some of them say, no, it supports, it encourages. We need to take care, to pay attention, to not hide behind the music, in fact. So it is a tool to support, it is part of the system, and use it properly, in fact.
Is the tahtib is a dangerous game? If a wrong move is done by one of the players, it could lead to his death?
Yes, it is a very dangerous game when it is practiced by not knowledgeable people. In our teams, in the Modern Tahtib, and now we are going to enter in Train the Trainer, we are currently selecting people to create the first team of instructors. The first thing they learn is to control. Power and control. So using the mental and the physical flexibility to deliver powerful strikes, and the same mental and physical flexibility and also presence to the other. Who is caring the most, by the way? Who is caring about the other more, the man or the woman?
You say this time. You say this time.
Well, I'm always pro-women, so...
Who is caring more about the other?
Who would be like afraid that the other person would be hurt?
Forget about the sticks. Who is usually caring about the other?
Women usually.
We? Who is we?
Women.
Women, huh?
Not we women usually.
Yeah, okay, so caring, so not destroying the other. So caring is respecting the other, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so this is the second reason why women are now welcome in Tahtib, because mental and physical flexibility and caring about the other. So now practicing power and control with stick to learn about how delivering the very powerful strike and control, which is presence to the other and presence to self. Now usually girls they say, no, I will not because I'm afraid. I say, come on, respect the person in front of you and deliver the strongest strike and control it. And she did it. She does it immediately. Last time I was with Rana, a young woman, Egyptian woman. She told me, no, I will not because I'm going to hurt him. Saying, respect him, deliver the strongest strike. She did it. It worked excellently. And then suddenly she said, this linked me to my femininity and to my combativity. Both.
Yes, we have the fencing with sword. It is too much related to fencing with sticks. Why they are the same? When I see tahtib and fencing with the sword,
yes,
I feel that I'm looking to the same game.
Fencing with sword with the shish.
Yeah.
So this is linear. It's a linear practice, right? It's one line, right?
Yeah.
You have the tracks, and you are practicing shish on a line. Tahtib is linear and circular. Tahtib is considering the full space. Okay? So you select and you play the you want to like, the one you like.
But they are different in rules.
Totally different, yes. Okay? Each of these games has rules, and the Tahtib is is remarkable about this circular dimension. And for the modern Tahtib is one light touch on the head, you are winning, or 3 touch on the body. 3 touch on the body, you are winning. So
now, for the Tahtib itself, originally you mastered many martial art techniques like Taekwondo and Kung Fu and many others. Then you decided to go into Tahtib because it caught your eye, especially that you're from Upper Egypt. Now, what did you do first to understand more about, especially that there were no textbooks about it? Tell us more about your methodology till you came out with what we have right now.
First, what I did during 30 years is I snubbed Tahtib. I didn't consider it. This is the first thing I did during 30 years,
Yeah.
joking about my parents in Al-Shoot playing that. This is nothing, okay? When I discovered the value of Tahtib, I suddenly changed my view, and it is, in fact, 3 things. Firstly, is practicing with my people. I learn very much by practicing with my people. And by the way, this will be one of the principles of the trainer. We'll have intensive courses, and then when the candidate here will deliver, he will learn more. So I learned with my people. I learned with the Ma'allimin in the Upper Egypt. I met some of them. And when I discovered they were speaking the same language as the Japanese masters, I say, come on, these people, they is in the same world of martial arts. We are looking here at them as folklore and dance. Come on, look and go and sit with the Ma'allimin in Upper Egypt. They are masters like the Japanese or Chinese martial arts. So I worked with these guys. I practiced with my team, and I looked at the Egyptologist indications to bring it together. And then I used my, let's say, skills about train the trainer and transmitting things to young people to create this curriculum, in fact.
Well, Dr. Adel Boulad, expert in Tahtib, martial art game. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome once again to Breakfast Show.
So I would like to thank you very much. Also, to make a call here, we are currently selecting the best candidates to participate as the trainers. We're looking for women and for men. We're going to compose a group of 12 instructors, and to next year, in May next year, we'll organize the first Egyptian championship of Modern Tahtib. Thanks to these 12 people, we need to find that now. On next July the 19th, we'll have the second selection workshop to find the best people.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you very much. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up our episode of Breakfast Show, but first I have to thank my colleague and friend. Thank you very much, Dina Mamdouk.
Thank you, Rasha.
And make sure to stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International, and to follow us on Breakfast Show tomorrow with a new crew. Until then, have a good day.